Okay, it's Andy Graham of Hobo Traveler. I keep hitting my knee on this table, sorry. Dana F. I made a request that I would like girls to write and ask me questions. There's really not that much different mentally between men and women, but women seem to be more incisive somehow. It's like they get to the point, and the men, while they try to talk about the point, the women get to the point. She asked a very excellent question, and she did it in the proper formats, and didn't try to be clever. Didn't try to force me to do work. The men try to force me to do work. So Dana F. asked a very good question. I think she filled out a form. She filled out the contact form and didn't just put in the email. I think she's from Jersey City. She gave me her phone number. It's 201 area code. She's from USA, Jersey City. That's East Coast girl. Have I ever met a woman over 50, traveling through Africa alone? And then she qualified it, and I mean with a backpack, not on a business trip in a 4-star hotel. So she really chunked it down to a great question, and this is what we need. I need some background. I need a specific question, qualified down to a thing. Okay, have I ever met a woman 50 with a backpack going through Africa, carrying a backpack the same as me? Okay, I've been to 15 countries. There's 53 countries in Africa, and it's not like Central America or South America or maybe Southeast Asia where you can do 10 countries and finish it. You can only do, there's Southeast Asia is, say, West Africa or East Africa or South Africa or North Africa. You have 3 of Southeast Asias or 3 of South Americas or 4 of South Americas, 4 of Central Americas. See, serial travel is, you start in Guatemala, Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, Costa Rica, blah, 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 and work your way all the way to Panama. Then you jump to someplace else. In Africa, all we can do is, we have like 5 different jumps that you can make, so 5 different sections before you kind of hit a roadblock. Have I ever met an over 50 going through Africa? So no, I guess the question is, they never go through Africa because nobody's going to do 54 countries, 53 countries in Africa. They will do West Africa, East Africa, South Africa. They'll make the trip from Tanzania to South Africa by land. They might make the trip from Cameroon to South Africa by land. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 different separate journeys you can make in Africa that would be a long trip. I don't know what's going on in Africa, but it's the only place on the planet where it's safe enough to drive a car. Okay? So most people drive a car. And when they drive a car, because of the cost and fear, I think, they normally couple up with another girl. I met many girls over 50 that are driving a car together, but not a backpacker. I'm trying to think if I've ever met any backpackers going cross land in Africa. I'm one of the few that actually gets with a backpack and does like what you would do in Central and South America or even Southeast Asia. You put your backpack on and do a jump. So I haven't met many men either, because everybody drives a car. Which, driving a car in Central and South America is a great way to get robbed at gunpoint. But in West Africa, you don't get robbed at gunpoint, so people drive. Bonjour.
Good morning, ça va?
Ça va bien, et toi? My friend's saying hello to me. She's practicing her English. Have I ever met a single woman traveling through Africa? I've seen single women traveling one country through Africa, but these are NGOs out on a jaunt, out on a promenade, out on a walk. But more groups of women. I meet a lot of groups of women with backpacks. I probably see more women groups traveling one country, 2 countries. Maybe they go to Togo, to Benin, and they come back. than I do men with backpacks. The men, yeah, I see more women thing, but a single woman over 50, they're mostly young ones. They're mostly NGOs that don't know what they're doing, trying to come save Africa. I don't know how a 20-year-old, 23-year-old is going to expect to save anybody. They don't even know what day it is, halfway the global perspective, right? But most of your NGOs and even your USA Aid type people, Peace Corps, all these groups are ran by 22-year-olds, right? With a manager that maybe is 35 that doesn't really do anything but drive around in his SUV. Okay, where are women backpackers? I did see some. Where? Senegal. Senegal is a female sex tourism place. Senegal, the Gambia, what's the other, so the Gambia and the Senegal are two places where single women come to go on a boom boom trip. They do like the men do in Thailand, Philippines, Sosua, Dominican Republic. I think the whole country, Dominican Republic's a boom boom country. I mean, Thailand, there's just specific areas. In the Philippines, it's pretty much all the men are there for boom boom. But Thailand's, a good place to go for beaches, right? Philippines pretty much sucks for beaches unless you go into Boracay. And I've never been to Boracay because it's just way too expensive. But, Senegal is where the women go for sex tour, and they probably do it on their own. So there's actually charter flights from Germany flying into the Gambia and doing it. But I guess in Niger, I should back up. In Niger, Africa, I saw some older women that had boyfriends from the Agadez area, and most of these girls, most of these women, it's kind of, it's like the men's sex tourism. They come and they find a young boy that basically escorts them around. Do I actually see them like me going free spirit, independent? No, they always have a boyfriend in tow. I saw one on the bus the other day, a young one coming from Gapong to Kara. I don't know where she was. She went all the way to Loma, but she obviously had a black boyfriend in tow. I call these guys in tow. I mean, some reason, and I don't do it, but some reason people think that getting a girl or a boy from a local boy in some way optimizes their trip and makes it safer. I think it makes it 10 times more expensive because these guys are they're children. You have to take care of them. And but people like to be able to control somebody. And if I'm with an African girl, obviously, even though she's really trying to control me, there's a perception that I'm controlling them, and I just go independent. I don't do it. But I think Africa is the next big backpacker place. It's going to be the same as Guatemala was. I mean, not Guatemala. Central and South America was, say, in the 1980s, before I started, really. And maybe the way India, the Kathmandu trip was in the 1970s, 1960s. I used to make trips from London to Kathmandu by land, backpacking. And Africa is the only new adventure for backpackers. You can still do Central and South America like a backpacker, but you're ending up with a bunch of guys with Apple iPads next to you. And it's really annoying because they didn't leave America and they're sitting there the whole time. But yeah, you're right, Dana. Good question. I really have not seen a female backpacking Europe. Backpacking Africa. I have not seen many men backpacking Africa. I see a few, but some of them, I don't know what's going on with the whites in Africa, but they're really almost scared of the shadow. I mean, I walked by one yesterday. He had a little glasses, little blonde hair, and I said, "White man." He just walked by, probably Peace Corps. I'm real close to Peace Corps. I'm always afraid of scaring the Peace Corps people. But then you get that 1 in 50 that is just like me. But the other 49 are, I'm going to scare them to death. Okay, do I think, but the operative question is, do I think a female woman can travel Africa alone over 50? And I think yes. How is she going to do it? She's going to have to go very slow, and she's going to have to plan hotel to hotel jump. You don't plan city to city jump. You plan hotel to hotel jump, and you know you need to do it during the day from 6 o'clock in the morning till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're not going to make any of these. You shouldn't ever arrive after 1 o'clock in the afternoon anywhere on the planet. And Europe is much more dangerous than Africa for West Africa for your travel. I mean, I can't group this all together. I mean, I can group Central America together. I can group South America almost together, not completely. There's 2 or 3 different trips in South America. And, you know, Southeast Asia is just a walk in the park for anybody. I mean, it's so safe. Unless you're doing drugs and doing crazy stuff. But, you know, if you're not a drug addict, you're okay, or drunk. Anything in the planet after 10 o'clock at night starts to be dangerous. So, you know, come home. But if you're going to be in Africa, you don't go out partying. You come home before, you know, 9 o'clock at night, and you're okay. Anybody wise here would call me up. If you really want to do this, you can do this. But there's some caveats in what part of Africa you're traveling in and how to do it. Most women over, you know, which is sad, most women over 50 are afraid of carrying a backpack, and truthfully, I think I could do, I got a wash machine, and I'm thinking of carrying it with me, because I get people to carry it with me in Africa real easy. I can just say, hey, you, pick it up. I have a wash machine in the hotel with me right now. I'm going to use it today because my clothes are dirty. I'm calling it my wife because it would replace a wife. Hard one to do, Dana, but is there anybody ahead of you? No. If you want to go do it, you can do it. But be careful. If you're a heavy drinker, or you have to party every night, or you have to eat at 10 o'clock at night at a fancy restaurant, or you have to have a boyfriend, it's dangerous. But if you're like me and you can live without, you don't need somebody, you just want people. Okay, that's the question.